So we are on record, and
Yeah.
good morning, Inger, and good morning, Patricia,
Hello.
and everybody who's
Hello.
watching. If it's day, evening, or whatever, welcome here. We selected the topic because we found something occurred with us, and Inger has an addition on that. So we found that a nice topic for today. So maybe Patricia, you can start explaining a bit how we came to that topic.
The topic, a golden child part 2.
And harmonizing.
And harmonizing everything around it. And we get there by, how can I explain this short?
Okay, shall I?
Yeah.
Okay, we did some exercises. We made some basic mistakes in doing the exercises for us. And then suddenly Patricia felt in the box of Pandora, and which is our explanation for that is a lot of old karma was touched and revealed, and it was hard to get out of that. And then during self-healing, Patricia was able to find a way where it came from, and it was mostly connected to the golden child. The golden child, for somebody who didn't see that first episode, is the belly button, the string from the belly button to the baby, which is cut too early, and where therefore there's a lot of soul information not getting into the little baby, and also a lot of immune system additions are not getting into the baby, and that gives a lot of trauma. And now Patricia found out that it's also karma related at the golden child point. Is that the right explanation? Something to add to that?
What can I add? It's it disconnects everything, because you get trapped again in old beliefs, old feelings that are not here in the moment. So you feel lost.
I can really feel it in my belly button at the moment.
Yeah.
So maybe, Inger, you can a little bit stipulate how the harmonizing came and how it fits.
Last time we also spoke about what happened New Year's Eve. It was like everybody went through a portal into another level. When you have several billion people walking through a portal or a doorway, awaken at different stages, and they all try to harmonize, that spells chaos. Last week, we really hit the effect of this, where like billions and billions of people were screaming out, this is the truth, you have to listen, this is the truth, this is the truth, this is the truth. And my inner guidance said, stay out of that. Stay out of that, because that is very old energy trying to distract you from what is truly happening. Personally, I felt restless. I felt like I couldn't fit into my own body, into my own skin. So I kind of went back and forth, making puzzles, talking, working a lot. And it kept coming. Everything has to be reached the level of harmonizing. Because in order to continue this venue into the new, harmonizing is the key word. Because you cannot change what is inside you. You can vibrate out of it. You can align your vibration with another level, the level you truly want to experience. And as Patricia said, there's a lot of energies around that try to hook into you. If there is a fragment or duality within you, be sure there is an element outside that will try to trigger it, to feed on it, to make it grow, to make you feel hopeless, to make you feel vulnerable, to make you feel stuck, hopeless. And if we believe that to be our truth, to be our reality, we create a loop, and we continue, and we recreate, and we continue, and we recreate. Our work is actually to breathe those energy through, thanking them. Thank you for leaving. Duality, I have stepped into my power. We are taking the planet back.
I feel strongly the belly button, so I need to release it. It's
Please come.
It's like
I felt a huge and very strong crystalline energy coming in through like a shower, penetrating my own, my entire being, and opening my sacral, my navel chakra, or that area, the womb, and completely flushing through. And as that flushed out, I felt also like a lot of collective sadness, anger. The feeling you often have when you try to stand up for yourself again and again and again, and no one hears you, no one pay attention. When you feel you are not capable of establishing that self-respect and authority enough within to matter, to be heard. There was a lot of that kind of flushing through. There is one more. And again, there is this feeling that we are lacking something. We are lacking a connection back to the separation. As we talked about in the Golden Child 1, the umbilical cord is being cut immediately after birth. And there's a disconnection that happens too fast. Mm-hmm. And then there is the feeling of not knowing how to deal with that. Not feeling or having an understanding of how to deal with a sudden separation that takes place. When there is no support, where there is no nothing, where you suddenly are left separated and alone and without the support that was always meant to be there for you. And it feels like a scar within.
I got something for that support.
Yeah. Actually, that took me straight up to the 8th chakra. The chakra we kind of pass through when we enter this reality and when we leave it. And it was like there was a resistance in the 8th chakra that was opened. The resistance you can feel when you get down and when the separation happens too fast. It's like something happens up here that was meant to kind of, let's say the connection should gradually enter into the body and give what was needed. Instead, it's like you're shut off. There's something that is shut off that didn't pass through. That felt very connected to my navel, like a loop that was kind of broken. And it felt like we were kept strangers to our own birth, the same way we are kept strangers to dying. Dying has been like something we in our society don't talk much about. It's something we don't discuss, we don't talk much about it. It's like death has become a stranger. The same way, like it corresponds to being cut, suddenly becoming a stranger when the umbilical cord got shut. So it's felt like connecting back between those two layers. And in order to sustain that child, there is the grandmothers are coming in. Let me see. Sha meni kirko to fotoria kokoto kita kadia shakata kayo koto to iki kata o kata ta shana makoto yokoto tia kota tamano to ya kotiro koto shoto tamana aketo ke yoko to menia kakata nataka yoko te dana mani yoko to kia kata mana oto iketa Utia katoninia katasha. I'm kind of being shown when a baby is born, or when you come down, it is experienced as traveling through a tunnel. I know because I remember myself coming in and being birthed in this lifetime. It's like you're going through a tunnel and down, and usually we are held, and I felt like I was held by the grandmothers and sustained all the way. And I, even feeling my little baby body being squeezed out and felt tucked in and taken care of. And suddenly, what happened?
I have something for
Yeah.
above that. Okay. Atu tikato mania Ariana diamania Ayana yo Achamana yatia Riala manunia Achakatupa Asuti manania Ralania mananani to tita Ralamanani anungan mananinan Ratakatakatupapa Manan Dalalana Munya takatu ay Riu da na aya uya maya
Thank you for that. It was very beautiful. What I felt is it was the Earth grandmother in you, kind of stepping up and supported and received and held space for the child.
But for me, it also felt
Yeah,
that,
it was like that energy you brought in came up from the earth to receive and sustain the newborn energetically.
Yeah, and above.
And above.
Yeah, it was for me above that. Before the soul is born, there was already a healing.
Down so that
the disconnection don't feel like cutting down again.
Well, for me, it was like a rebirth. It felt like a rebirthing.
To sustain, the baby, so that the separation, how to say, isn't felt that way. So it's like healing the separation, a rebirth. Yeah. I got a feeling that we should tune into the golden child and kind of bring that in to really fully connect to that vibration.
Okay.
As to feel there is a lot of, do you feel so? Mm-hmm. Yeah. The picture I'm giving is the mother who has been giving birth, and she's laying with that baby on her tummy, on the stomach. And the umbilical cord is still attached. And that is also the same as we call our inner child. So kind of start breathing with that energy, and I'm going to see where it takes me. Kio nene akai, kio kotono mene akai etona, ashane yo kotie katana mana, ashie ko kotini akoyo, nehia katana maya katina, adie ke mana katio koneni. Ashi kote mena ahai kotio, ashata nemikoyo, ashiete tia nama akatina.
La 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 la
Nhai có mai nhu cô xỉ nhầm mai nhu cô nhẫn nhom mai nhu xuống bùi nhu mò nhá su cô coi nhu cô này hú nu phu ta mua này hú su ai
Eshmeni ekatu, Eshmeni ekatu, Eshmeni ekatu, Eshmeni ekatu. The golden dragons are of the newborn, so that the breath is strong and fiery, so that the child is completely self-sustained, being brought in with all the gifts it was meant to bring. Robert, I feel that you have some hard codes for this as a representative of the male and the female as well.
Patricia?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just felt that this golden child went into a state where it fully connected to the breath of life, completely self-sustained, and have received everything to be. And
Can you repeat the last sentence? To be and then?
Completely free being.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the dragons came in to kind of sustain the breath of freedom that the child took. And there was kind of natural release of the umbilical cord. It was like, it's done. It's brought back. It's balanced. It's harmonized.
Wow.
There was these codes of the heart of the expands itself out into a center. And it also feels like the veils between worlds will disappear more and more with this. And there is this deep, deep, deep love for this child that have had all these experiences. No one right, no one wrong, just experiences. Because that is something we really need to harmonize our beings with. There is no right, there is no wrong. Because in order for someone to be right, someone has to be wrong. There is the experience. And the experience should always be honored. Without experience, no expansion. Absolutely.
For me, there's another part that's necessary to integrate now, and that's the collective, the golden child.
Your sound is breaking up, so I cannot hear you.
Okay, yeah. It's for the collective, for the damaged golden child who are already here. And Aitamana Satya Tunamanaya Ayananina Takatiu Tapmanania Hitoko Puyo yo yo yatsi yane yadmanananani yanto tikatu ya no yana manayo na atana nina mania nanamania nanamo wanya wana ya na Yerapatana nina inumui yedikidikida la la lia la la wana ni amana Kiri dapat kata-kata kita pati dapat di ananunya nanya kata tamanda mani tu bobo ya pati ya la 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 tika da tika tu tika na cha cha.
I felt there was a lot of calls for support, for walking one's path, for fully understanding that the damaged, what we call the damaged ones, actually are the strongest because they already have survived what we call the damage. Yeah. And to kind of honor what we have called the damaged part of ourselves and others, to clearly see the strength we are carrying within and the love we are carrying within, allowing ourselves to go through all these experiences in order to understand and expand what creation is all about. Without experiencing the creation, there is no creation. Without taking flight, how can you know you even have wings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, beautiful.
Kia no kote dia na kotoia minia kata sana mana kate ke tia kotono eni kata tanasha. I'm being shown how this golden child is kind of taking it first step into the new reality. Curious, creative, loving, really, really strong in its purpose, and deeply grateful Because if it haven't been for all the experiences we have taken on, it couldn't have been a golden child. We are the fundament of it all, with the experiences we have taken, we have gone through. Ako ikotenenia katadana mana ako kote ako koteshineminia kaika kotodono menia kakataya kotoi kitininia katai kikitata manata. And the space for is saying this one is kind of walking as heaven on earth and in heaven as earth. So we have both impacts. It's the melding together.
Yeah, I still feel we need to pay attention for what's happening here now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because for me it feels like we bring something new in, and that's very good. And I feel a lot of madness and angriness, sadness, fear, wanhoop, desperation. That's what I feel. That's the one. Can you?
Yes.
Yeah. Down, down, nan, 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 yeah, nan, nan, now, wow, 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 yeah, wow, 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 no, 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 yeah, yeah, la, na, ma, na, ya, ti, Hey, yeah, yeah, yo, yeah, 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 yeah. Boom.
So for the collective desperation, Shamara Shukwenya Moyakaya Shayama Koyo Nayo Mokaya Shayo Wari Oshombo Dai Shuradai Tamaka Chukora Toinyo Nyosha Jambayu Azul Boizaya Nya Kormash Niana Nayokoino Somebody, Shoya taya kataya koshuka shuka shia ya sha sha shira.
I thought that was very beautiful because I got the same image on both of you. Tuning forks that actually was put in where they were needed, and how you started to radiate out to those tuning fork the peace and the harmony and the balance that was needed. By bringing it through and clearing it within yourself, you sing it out and you tune, and together you became like the perfect tuning forks singing together. I will bring in mine tuning fork to see if I can vibrate with you. Through the tuning forks, I forgot to say, you were both bringing in codes that were kind of placed in the collective for people to pick up on when they choose, when they feel for it. Kiokota, emeneye kete dio, akatia shemenai ketoya, etia mana, yokotoi ketene ma ashineya. Wakatono maaiko keshan kiokotia na makoto yo eyeketia makotiyo koteshana mena akaya katia mena ekaya ketia mena ekaya ketia mena. They keep showing me that we actually are like tuning forks for the collective and for our own vibration. When one of you come into a room and you vibrate higher, when you vibrate peace, that is being sent out and vibrated to everyone else to attune to, right?
I feel a lot of them.
Yeah. And I've been shown again and again, don't to interact with anything outside. Whatever is happening, it's the old world, the old structures falling apart. I still read some newspaper now and then to orientate myself about the necessary things you need to know about in order to function on this planet. But I don't buy into anything of that as a reality. I see it and I've been shown it's a world that is dying. It's the echo of the old world. And to constantly attune my vibration to where I want to be. The old reality is a structure. As they say, we cannot change anything outside of us, but we can change things within so that we radiate different and make a difference.
Beautiful.
And they keep saying we vibrate out of the old and over into something new. And it is so important more than ever to keep that vibration where we want to go. Because this year is like, they say it's, I was told it's the year of choice. But it's also a lot of people to say it's the year of the bridge. And that is the consequence of a choice. When you make a choice, you start a bridge over. This is the year that bridges the old and the new. And I have experienced when I start to walk on that bridge, I become the bridge. I become the light the bridge is made of. And as I keep walking, I become more and more and more of that bridge. The bridge is being bigger. It's easier for all of us to cross. We just have to keep that vibration in mind.
Today it was the Golden Bridge.
Today it was the Golden Bridge, absolutely. And I love it.
Yeah.
I just feel such gratitude for that golden child. That is actually a real being within us. It's not a concept. It's actually more real than the physical body. And I can say so because I've seen it, I've met it, I've been with it. It's absolutely real.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to
No.
say. Okay,
I'm just, yeah.
It's complete.
And the golden child inside you has nothing to say?
What I felt this week was energy. That's by you, that I only felt your energy and that your body was just a body, not part of you. I just saw your light.
Interesting.
That's why you talk about the golden child. I felt like, hey, yeah.
So I'm not a concept.
No. Concept, yeah.
No, but so there are things really shifting, and at the moment, exactly as you described it, the energy is getting, for me, like it's like a little higher, and therefore it's opening more of the perspective in this higher field. And, but it's still the choice people have. So to step into that other energy and to let go of the other, the lower, if you can describe it like lower energies, which is really hard because the puppetry, the theater around us is so immensely well done. So and it's now sipping into the lower parts, like in your job or in your team or in your colleagues, or even if at the cafeteria, or even the neighbor could do it. So it's getting, normally you could hide a bit, but you have to make a choice at a certain time, and that choice is getting closer to you every day almost. So and therefore it's so nice to feel and see that there are so much light beings shining more and brighter and being more powerful in their light. So it's easier to see. It's like a ship on the ocean, and which is nearing a coast, and there's those the lighthouse is standing there, and you know, okay, I'm on the right way. So even if you have to cross the whole Golden Bridge, and you're starting and you're at the beginning, you can see the light, and you can be in your convincement. You are convinced that it's good. It's the right way.
And you see people around you who you are very familiar with, who aren't the same matched anymore.
Yes.
And people you were looking at earlier and felt like, oh no, you're not my type, and they are your type now. So it's in real life.
It's a massive gift.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So it's so much about vibration and really,
And yesterday I had a realization, like, okay, with these vaccinations, let's do the topic a little bit heavier. With these vaccinations, that my family, who is not they're not thinking the same as I am, they probably will take the vaccine. And so therefore it was a realization, okay, that I will have to say goodbye to them, really. Because I understand that in England there is a massive people getting sick from the vaccines, and they don't show it in the news, but the ICs are really getting filled up now, not before of the COVID, but of the vaccines people, and they're critical. So a lot of people will die from that, and that they have made their choice not to cross the bridge. So that the feeling of mourning, that's the word, will come closer, and I got something to add for that. So for that heavy energy, and I asked the spacefarers to join me in this because otherwise it will be too dense.
Yeah. It was very beautiful, and I also felt there was a lot of codes because it went straight to this part also in me, like sustaining us in experiencing things in a different way. When it comes to mourning, when it comes to the different choices made and all the impact that can have on our lives.
Yeah.
So I really felt like comforted, yeah, really, really beautiful. It was. I think we will see a lot of divisions this year, as when shifts like this happen, like it is this year, everything has to be brought to the surface. And not only have we to be aware that what we experience in our reality or as our reality necessarily isn't our highest vibration. It is things that comes up that just has to be let go now. The same is for everybody else. So it's the year where we absolutely need to have a huge compassion for everyone, because they will blow up.
Yeah.
It's like exploding reaction and intense reaction all over. In order for them to have, how to say, enough light power to push it out through their system.
Yeah.
If not, it will take ages and eons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really needed. Everything which is happening for the good cause, and
yeah.
But it will take some. It will touch some emotions. It will touch some feels in everybody. So therefore.
Yeah, and earlier this episode we gave some codes for that also. Yeah.
So if people start to listen to this, because codes are always in layers, and so the first time you get some codes, and the second time you listen, you get more codes, and even the third time you can have more codes, depending on how your soul is open for it. But I think I'm really, really happy and thankful for you and you, Inger, that we could do the second part of the inner child, because that was really amazing work.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect when we did the first inner child part that there would be a sequence of it. It was felt like, okay, we did some really nice work on that because of the cutting, and that's the trauma on that. But we logically afterwards thinking, it's like, okay, but there was missing something because of the cutting, so that needed to be filled up or healed as well. And I think I'm never really sure, but I think we did a good job on that, and maybe there will be a third part, but I don't think so at this moment. And everything I do, and is just for the collective. Everything you do, Inger, is for the planetary systems and combined. And what I understand more and more of Patricia Taylor, the person next to me, that she is really connecting the inner Mother Earth and the inner energies and beings connected to what we are doing on the surface and in the planetary system. So that is, the three of us are a rare combination. And I really love the comparison of the tuning forks, because I work with tuning forks a lot. And so I always said I'm the tuning fork myself. And now you confirmed it. So that was nice. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah? And so, yeah, I think that this was a real interesting session. And it feels for me that the heart is still expanding and working
Yes.
like waves. It's still working. And I felt also that the feeling of the belly button area is completely calmed down.
Yeah.
There's no tension anymore. And in the beginning, I could feel also tension in the shoulders here, but that's also gone. So for me, everything is like steadying and calming and harmonized, like we try to do with in the beginning. So if anybody got something to add for this session, no?
I just feel that our golden child kind of got all the support and nourishment that was meant for it, and it took its first step out to experience. And maybe we will meet him as a more grown-up.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's interesting. So we can see put it on his little bike.
Yeah. Golden bike.
Yeah, golden bike with the side wheels. But it would be really interesting. So let's wrap it up. So everybody who's listening to this, please do also re-listen to it because it can help you. If you already subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you. And if you didn't do it, please do. Patricia, you can find on Facebook. Inger, you can find on Facebook. If you need anything, help or ask questions or anything, you just connect to us. I'm on Facebook as well. And please subscribe, please support us by just giving comments, ask questions, so that we know that you are listening and that maybe we can help you. Inger is doing this similar kind of work for over 30 years. And you can't see it because she doesn't look like that age, but he's doing it for a long time. I'm doing the work for a couple of years, 10 or something like that. Patricia is doing it for a long time already. So together we got lots of information. So if you have any questions, please do ask them. And we will come back next week.
You will.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.